And we have returned. Spring Jamboree. Welcome back. Decerux here with my co-caster HarkenScythe. How are you doing after that fabulous round one?
That was a great round one from Diamond Eclipse, and we're going to get to see them play again, this time against Verdant Tyros.
Yeah, we are in round two now. Diamond Eclipse did earn their spot into the more actual bracket. Had to think of that word for a second. So we'll be getting into these picks and bans in just a moment.
So we're just waiting for everyone to get all set up. But I think if Tyros did any research, they're probably going to try and ban out maybe the Lux and the Fiora. We're going to have to see, but that would be... Those are my two top bans against this red side team.
Cool foam.
Let's see,
And
the first ban go out
of the Fiora ban.
As predicted.
That means Moonshadow not going to be on his best champion, so we're going to see what he goes to next.
I'm not going to say much reason why, but I'm kind of expecting a Rek'Sai ban. A certain one trick.
It's DLC, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're going to have to see what happens. We see a Lee Sin ban. That's
ban.
against Gale Sin.
That probably hurts more than it actually helps.
We'll have to see what the rest of these bans are going to be. I expect a Lux ban at some point in this draft. We're going to have to see if they do elect to ban her or if they feel like they better. But they banned the Shen instead. That's two top lane bans against Moonshadow.
Yeah, it seems we're doing a lot of focus on the Moonshadow right now. He did play out of his mind in the round one versus the Sneakies.
Of course, the Shen is a very different champion to the Fiora. Maybe it's another pick he's comfortable on, but we'll have to see what he pulls out now that he has two champions banned away from him. Let's see how deep that champion pool goes.
And Lux, wow, that's interesting.
They banned away themselves. Maybe Fezzy is a good Lux player himself, and they might. And Red Side doesn't want to pick it first round. We'll have to see what they elect to go with mid lane then.
Well, I have played against Fezzy in Season 1 of Ascension eSports. He is actually a really good mid laner when it comes to doing very unorthodox, almost safe type picks. He was a very good Ziggs. He actually inspired our mid laner Ziggs. And overall, yeah, I can see why they would ban out the Lux.
We're going to see a Zillion ban, which is... Zillion's again, it's another really niche type of pick. He's an annoying pick to be certain, because that ultimate is basically a free GA, but it's certainly a different type of ban. It could be, and then we're going to see an Ezreal ban from Red Side. So the bans are done. What kind of picks do you think we could be expecting? Top lane, we could just see boring tanks. I wouldn't like it.
That's not 8BigBuck style. If I know this guy, he's going to pick something aggro and playmaking. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to be very sad.
Jarvan. I want to see Jarvan. I play him a lot. He's an amazingly fun champion, does a lot of damage, but Lulu
picked up is a flex. Slightly, most likely support.
Probably for support, and we're going to see the Xin Zhao picked again.
You don't wonder if he's a Xin Zhao one trick. He does have the Mastery level 7 on it.
Could be, but the Xin Zhao didn't work out last game, so we're going to have to see if they can keep up that intensity.
Yeah, we'll find out soon enough. Waiting for that first top lane pick coming out of Moonshadow. Going for the ADC pick, rather. Jhin, a pretty good ADC to pick up in the first rotation.
Yeah, Towdy, again, he didn't do great on the Jhin, but he was a safe AD carry, and he basically allowed the Lux and the Fiora to carry. Of course, those champions are banned this game, so he might have to be a carry himself. We're going to have to see what changes.
And we see Fezzy possibly hovering that Lucian for Samano. Samano was in the finals of Elder League, put on a great display. Unfortunately, wasn't able to win it all with his team, the Cuckabos.
3-0 Samano. That's his new nickname. So that's likely. We see the Riven. We see a Riven for Moonshadow this time.
Ooh, I wonder how 8-Bit Buck is going to play into that one, especially with Moonshadow's very aggressive playstyle.
And for the rest of the draft, we see most likely the bot lane from blue side, so they know what they're going to be picking into most likely, unless it's a Lulu mid, which is kind of a weird pick, but it could happen. So, what is the pick for red side here?
Waiting to see that pick come out.
They're taking their time with this one, and they're hovering Gragas.
What?
And they pick Gragas. It could be a placeholder, maybe, or it could be top lane. No.
Or
no, wouldn't it? It could be AP Gragas mid.
There's so many things they could be right now. My mind is exploding.
I'm confused. You're not the only one. What the hell? Unless it's a Xin Zhao top lane with... No. I want to say Gragas mid. I want to say full AP Gragas mid. And we're going to see another Renekton for 8-bit. That's the second time Renekton has been picked in these casting games. And we do see another Nami pick. So, yeah, it's going to be AP Gragas mid.
Wow, what an interesting pick coming out of Diamond Eclipse.
That is a very, very different pick. They've given us a Xin Zhao jungle. They now give us the Gragas mid. I have no idea how well this is going to work out. I just don't see Gragas very often, so I can't comment much on this pick, and especially Gragas mid. That's an old playstyle of Gragas.
You know, I have to compliment Diamond Eclipse though for having the balls to actually pick these types of champions. Just kind of going all over the place with it.
This is blue side has a much more coherent team comp. They very much want to use the Orianna ball on, say, the Rek'Sai or the Renekton, dive in, and then just kill their team. But red side, I don't know what their team's going to do. They have a Riven top lane, and Riven's a really, really good pick if your top laner knows what they're doing. But again, it's against a Renekton. That's a very swingy matchup. We see the Xin Zhao did pretty well last game. We're going to have to see how he does against a pretty different style of champion, the Rek'Sai compared to the Olaf. We do see the interesting mid lane matchup. No comment on how that's going to work out. Yeah. And then the bot lanes, they're similar to what we saw last time, except instead of a Karma, we see a Lulu.
Huh. This is just so... It's so unpredictable, but for the I don't know what to say. This is I can't read how this is gonna play out. What is with the Gragas? What is with the Xin Zhao? What's going on?
You're not the only one. I think we're just gonna have to wait into game, I guess. I mean, the possible wombo combo of Gragas into Riven CC is massive, but I don't know what this Gragas is going to do. That's the problem. It's a mid lane Gragas. I have no words. I really don't.
So, because I participated in Season 1 of Ascension League, I have to give my edge to Verdant Tyros. Fez, I know he's a great mid laner. Samano's a great ADC. Allspark's bad at everything he does. 8-bit Buck, legendary top laner. I'm expecting good things out of Verdant Tyros.
But this red side composition, this is the wild card. This is the ultimate wild card. They're going in and saying, all right, we're going to throw some funky picks at you. Riven isn't exactly a funky pick, but it's something we haven't been seeing a lot of because she just doesn't do that well into tank matchups, but she's against her Renekton. She can snowball. The Xin Zhao, which we rarely see, the Gragas mid lane, which I have no idea how that one's going to work out. And then we see a pretty standard bot lane with Jin Nami.
It's just full chaos from Diamond Eclipse, and I have to give my hat off to them. They played extremely well in the last game. Can they do it again? We're about to find out in round 2. Verdant Tyros versus Diamond Eclipse.
I really hope they can make these picks work. I love seeing, this is the kind of weird picks I like seeing because it's so unorthodox. The Gragas mid, it's a Gragas mid in season 7. Gragas mid hasn't been meta since like 4 years ago.
And that's the thing, sometimes the best picks in the meta are the ones that aren't actually in the meta because people don't really know how to play against them.
And we're gonna just have to see if Fezzy can figure out how to defeat this AP Gragas. We don't even know how he's going to win yet, so it'll be quite the journey figuring out how this is going to work.
Yeah, so if you are just joining us, this is the Spring Jamboree Round 2. This is a 2-day tournament presented by Risen eSports and Ascension eSports with members of Compete League participating. The grand prize is just mystery gifts. This is mostly for fun. This is mostly for learning. This is mostly just to have a good time. I am your caster, Decerux, followed by my co-caster, HarkenScythe. How are you doing right this very moment, Harken?
I'm still very confused. Still very, very confused. But we do see another Mastery Level 7 top laner for Moonshadow. Has Mastery Level 7 on Riven as well, so...
Oh, goodness.
Oh, man. And Quick does have Mastery 6 on Gragas, so has played Gragas more than once. So it's not just a random pick, it's something that he's apparently played, possibly.
Yeah. Such unorthodox picks actually have these high levels of mastery on Diamond Eclipse, and that scares me right now for Verdant Tyros.
It's a very much a wild card factor. If he gets behind, though, I don't see him doing very well against Orianna at all, because Orianna will outrange Gragas pretty easily, and overall has more wave control compared to the Gragas, but it's going to be interesting, because if Gragas gets ahead, I don't know what's going to happen. He might go full AP Assassin Gragas and one-shot the Lucian.
I haven't seen that since Season 2, Season 3. I think it happened to CLG. I forgot what team did it to them, but it was very disgusting.
Talking about. It's like Gragas mid hasn't been meta for like 3-4 years now.
Yeah, but he was changed, so he doesn't have the same burst potential as back then.
But Quick, he's trying to bring it back.
Yeah.
He wants it back in meta, so he's doing it now.
Let's see if he can make the one-shot happen past the nerfs of half a decade ago. Oh my, I'm old.
Like we're about to load in now. JLC, his internet is as bad as his play. And here we go.
Yeah, we'll be getting into this game momentarily.
I think it's going to be interesting. Gragas, I don't know what he's going to start either. He could start Doran's Ring. He could start Corrupting Potion. He could start, I don't know, Dark Seal, maybe.
And he could start tilting Fezzy Fez. We're going to find out soon enough, really. And so the buys are coming out. Very standard stuff coming out of both teams. Samano choosing to go with the Doran's Blade, whereas Hati goes for the longsword.
Looks like he's just going to go Doran's Ring. All right.
And it makes sense. You want the mana regen because, after all, when you're playing Gragas, you get a lot of that health regen just from spamming spells.
Oh yeah, because of his passive, all that extra health. And he's starting Q. And Lucian, you need to be a little bit careful.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Just a little bit, though. Quick can't really follow that up too much. And surprisingly enough, a lot of heavy AP coming out of Quick, having 46 right off the bat to Fezzy Fez's 33.
Oh, wow. That I don't know. I wanna believe in the Gragas. I want to,
Minions
but
have spawned.
oh, I don't know. Looks like we're gonna get some trash talk against Samano as well.
Yeah,
And
Samano has to redeem his honor. He was in the finals of Elder League, unfortunately got 3-0'd by Elite 8. So let's see if he can bring this back. He is overall a great ADC, so I expect to see good things from him.
Both junglers gonna start on their bot sides. We could see Rek'Sai. We could see Rek'Sai go for like an early level 2 gank against the Gragas. Especially because Gragas is gonna have a very hard time CSing against the Orianna without like what she's doing right now, just taking free auto attacks.
Yeah. And that's the issue with that melee versus range, especially when that range is Orianna, and the passive that Orianna brings with those auto attacks is pretty disgusting.
Just looks like JLC is just going to clear out his jungle for now.
And
And top
look at
lane,
No.
Shadow doesn't look like he's having the most fun time. Already down pretty hard against this Renekton.
Lomo, he's looking to do that level 2 cheese once again. Having a hard time deciding what lane he's going to gank, though.
I'd imagine going mid lane. Okay, you need to be careful.
Ooh.
You're down a lot of health.
And this
Overall, blue
doesn't
side
gank
looking
anyone.
good. Doesn't look like there's gonna be any ganks. So JLC top lane, nothing
Doesn't
happens out of it. Huey not having as easy of a lane as he was last time.
Yeah,
He is
JLC,
actually having.
He's looking to invade, possibly. Misses the red buff, doesn't notice that Lomo is actually doing it at the moment. And Allspark is getting kind of caught out, taking a lot of damage. Heal has to be fought by Samano. Samano looking to make him pay for it. Meanwhile, K-Quick gets ganked by JLC, returns a little bit of damage, but overall, good going for Verdant Tyros.
Although the heal is burned top lane or bot lane compared to no summons, so small summoner advantage right now. Nothing major, of course. But every little bit helps in these kind of bully lane versus bully lane matchups. Hey!
Ooh,
What
K-Quick.
aggressive. He's down 13 CS so far. I don't think the Gragas pick is going to work out, unfortunately.
And look at this, Lomo's backing, and he's only level 2.
Yeah, he only got 3 minions on that back. He got
Red buff, blue buff, and
Romp, most likely.
yeah.
But JLC, oh, this is a very real
Huge
gank.
fight going on. Here comes JLC going through the backside, trying to get the kill on the Toddy. Toddy walks forward. That might be a bad choice. Toddy almost gets picked off. Manages to survive, burning all summoner spells he had. Lady Severa only having flash up for the bot lane.
That's flash from Lucian, exhaust from Lulu, but that's double sums down on this Jhin, so he's gonna have to play a little bit more careful. Oh, Spark.
Allspark gets caught by the deadly flares, trying to return the damage. Allspark is chunked, but here comes Lomo going on to Samano. Will he be able to get the third strike? Red buff is ticking. Lomo so close. Goes after Allspark instead. Can't get rid of Allspark. JLC comes in to intervene, trying to get something done. Will Lomo stick with it? Deadly flourish lands. Is it going to be enough? First blood picked up in the top lane, despite all the action going in the bot lane. What just happened?
Oh, Buck survives. That was very aggressive everywhere on the map, and we missed half of it.
Oh my goodness. 8-bit Buck living up to his reputation, asserting dominance in that top lane. But what a disaster for Diamond Eclipse, not being able to pick up any kills off of that when they desperately needed them.
Yeah, this might be a good Renekton game. Unlike what we saw last time where Renekton wasn't able to abuse the early advantage, it does look like Renekton is abusing the early advantage this time and already has a Tiamat compared to just Warfield or Warhammer.
So far, Verdant Tyros has the first blood on the map, doing well in every lane so far, because if we look at that CS differential on K-Quick, It's very painful to watch.
It's massive. It's 14 CS. He has less CS than everyone except the supports and his jungler.
Yeah,
So
very rough lane for him.
He's... I don't think this Gragas is going to work out because he's just not going to get enough gold to buy items.
He needs the assistance from Leilomo in order to make this work.
And Leilomo is far behind on his own. He's down in CS to the Rek'Sai, and Rek'Sai has been applying much better pressure. We saw the gank on the top lane. It didn't get much, but it meant that Moonshadow had to back off and miss even more CS.
And here's the dangerous thing about Samano. Time and time again, if you try and punish his support, he'll punish you and then some.
But as I was saying, this Rek'Sai, we saw the gank on the bottom as well, and the response from JLC against the gank that Lomo tried to force, where they almost killed the Lucian, then they almost killed the Lulu, but this Rek'Sai has been much more successful than the Xin Zhao so far.
Bubble lands with Samano, and so does Deadly Flourish, taking a good chunk out of his health, losing about half his bar. Fourth shot goes on to a minion, and that's the end of the trade. But 8-Bit Buck having a trade of his own, going after Moonshadow, not getting much out of it, as backup does come out of Leilomo.
Moonshadow has to be really careful, though. That's a very easy dive target, and in fact, he is going to back off. Oh, you don't want to stay against this Renekton, even with jungler assistance.
Yeah, this is not going to work, especially with the level 4 Xin Zhao. Leilomo does not want to play his cards in this one.
He's gonna back. Oh.
Wow. Such a disrespectful move. And Allspark's getting chunked out. Here comes JLC behind the tower. Is he going to be able to pick the kill on Toddy? Toddy's taking a lot of damage. Has to use the flash in order to get out.
That's heal down from Towdy and exhaust from Lady. But it was the same summoners from Samano and Allspark, both sides using heal and exhaust, so even trade of summoners.
Oh, and here comes Fezzy. Fez getting caught under the tower. K-Quick might make this work out. Finally, the kill picked up by K-Quick. Wow, patience is a virtue, and that really showed that time. Lady Saphira has to flash away. Will the kill picked up by Samano? Samano does not have enough mana to continue.
They need to back out. They need to get away and heal up, because this Jhin is getting bullied by this Lucian hard. CS differential is major down there. You can't really play aggressive right now.
But what a play coming out of K-Quick. Actually managing to make the Gragas work. 1v1, down goes Fez and Fez.
That is a kill, but he's still down half the CS, so the gold isn't that. The gold lead is definitely not there, and K-Quick looks like he's trying to make a roam topside, but he did get spotted out, so Buck definitely knows this is coming if he actually paid attention, but he might not have.
He's going to see it on the map right now. 3 people going to the top lane. 8-Bit Buck is a little bit cornered here, using the ultimate, trying to get something done. Will he be able to pick the kill on the old Moonshadow? Does not get it so far. Here comes the fight. 8-Bit Buck trying to live. Shockwave goes off and launches Leilomo backwards.
That's 2 ultimates burned. Oh, JLC forces a flash out of Lomo.
We might see a dive coming soon.
I don't think so. I think 8-Bit's just going to back off, and nothing's going to happen. So that was an exciting play. The ultimate was forced out of both top laners. The ult from Fezzy was also used, but the ult from K-Quick was not, so... Oh, Lomo, you need to be careful.
Might get caught out. Here comes the kill. JLC picks up that one quite easy, calling using the bot lane. Samano trying to get as much damage as he can, but here comes the curtain call, and it's a very dangerous one for Verdant Tyros as every bullet lands so far. Will the 4th shot land on Samano? No, it doesn't. Bubble misses, and Lady Saphira gets too close.
That was a bit aggressive from the Nami, and paid for with his life. So that's a killer going over to the Lucian, who's already far ahead. So this is very dangerous. Towdy He needs jungle backup.
Yeah, he really does. And let's face it, Lei Lomo has been completely ineffective in this game. Level 6 currently, but a very long process to get that level 6, especially considering that he's just barely level 6 while JLC is about to turn level 7 in one more camp.
Yeah, and JLC has the advantage of having a Tiamat instead of just a Warhammer. While Lomo does have the Smite upgrade, it doesn't really matter when JLC has an easy knockup. Lomo gets spotted out, so there's going to be no gank unless he really wants to try and force something.
Lomo really needs to get on the board if he's going to be effective. If this continues, he's simply going to go in and get melted, especially considering the comp that Verdant Tyros has.
Yeah, it's a lot of firepower from the Renekton, who's already way ahead of this Riven.
A little bit of a misplay, though.
Well, Riven does have quite a bit of CC for being so high damage, so does have to be a little bit careful about that. Looks like he's going with the Titanic Hydra first, with having both the Tiamat and Jarm's Fist. QB has to be a little bit careful.
Dive setup coming in, going on to Kubi. Kubi gets shockwave. Fezzy grabs that kill, and no assist coming out of JLC. But overall, well-coordinated play. Good
roam, and that's going to be a lot of damage on the turret, but Lomo, he's going to look for the dragon.
And that's a good response.
That's a good response, but they do need to be careful.
And this is exactly why Lomo's taking a lot of damage, goes down to the colony. Here comes the curtain call, but he's getting hit by the dragon. Allspark flashes forward, unable to do anything but get the kill on Lady Sophia as Lady Sophia runs for her life. Is it gonna be enough? It is not. Samano grabs that kill. Toddy getting a little bit too close to Fezzy, and Fezzy's right there to grab that kill. Now, K-Quick trying to do something about the situation, not gonna get too much out of it. Here comes Samano, Allspark, and Fezzy Fez putting the pressure on the K-Quick. Meanwhile, in the top lane, 8-Big Buck going after Moon Shadow. Is it gonna happen? No, he gets under the tower in time. K-Quick trying to turn this around, but you can't do that when you're exhausted. Has to back off of that one.
That was very, very poor play from that red side. They kept trying. Whoa!
Oh, no, the shield, the heal, and the last rites for K-Quick as he falls to Allspark.
That was... over-eager is putting it lightly, I think. And QB burned the ultimate top lane. So no Riven ultimate.
I want to say it was over-eager. I think the play could have worked, but you gotta land the skill first. The body slam completely whiffs. 8-Bit Bucks a little bit too in deep. Fork shot comes out, and Toddy finally gets on the board. 2 kills for Diamond Eclipse, but they are far behind Verdant Tyros at 8.
Yeah, that's a second turret already. That's about 8k gold, give or take, or blue side. So very good lead for them already at 14 minutes, but again, very low dragon focus and pretty kind of, there's weak vision on both sides near this dragon pit, but red side's gonna go for it. And there's no response.
Yeah, they should be able to pick up this dragon unless a miss might ruin their chances.
We could see the sneaky W impression. No. The double smite from Towdy2K's poor shot.
Oh, here comes Samano going on to Toddy. Toddy gets obliterated, able to run out in time, but he crosses curtain call, gets melted. What are you doing, Toddy?
If he didn't curtain call there, oh, Moon Shadow.
Ooh, Moon Shadow gets caught out. Oh my god, what a confusing curtain call coming out of Towdy2K.
I thought that Lady Sophia was in front of him, but apparently not. And now Lomo likely gonna go down. Oh, very close.
Yeah, very, very
about
close.
About 10%. And K-Quick, you don't have any gold, my friend. You only have a Rod of Ages. You're poor.
Almost double the CS. Fezzy doing so well in that matchup, and reasonably so. Melee versus range, especially when it's Oriana, especially when it's Gragas, it wasn't going to work out.
Hey, we didn't know. It was a wild card. The wild card didn't work. It's a 10k gold lead at 16 minutes for blue side.
JLC looking to get in the fight with Moonshadow. Moonshadow is winning it so far. Here comes Leilomo. Will JLC go down? Yes, he does. 8-Bit Buck taking the 3v1, gets bubbled. Not looking too good for him. Allspark trying to support, but he's very low on mana. Will Leilomo be able to get this kill? Tracing the alligator. He wants a new pair of shoes, and he's gonna get them at the cost of his life, though.
That's 2 kills on the Riven, but I don't know. Touty. Oh, he needs to be careful. That's an Orianna, and that's a strong Orianna right now.
Yeah, most
You are not a strong Jhin. Looks like we're just going to go back to ARAM for a little while.
Not necessarily, Fezzy pushing that bot lane is going to pick up that tower with much ease.
It's
no
red side ARAM only. It's a new game mode. That's going to be another tower for blue side. That's 4-0 for towers. And that cements their gold lead at 10k, even after the kills topside.
Yeah, and the gold lead is just so brutal right now, especially considering the CS differential in the mid lane. Almost double his CS. Disgusting situation for Diamond Eclipse.
Top lane doing very well right now as well. 80 carry doing pretty good. It's just... And Lomo... Questionable build choice going for the warrior instead of the blood raiser. Because normally on Xin Zhao you want attack speed, but it's the same thing as Yi. Why would you go warrior instead of going attack speed? Because it synergizes with his kit so well. Lady Saphira.
No, it's gonna be Touty 2K. 3 members burning him.
Couldn't even get the W off.
Is Moon gonna go for this? It's questionable if you want to go for this. Shockwave goes off. Moon takes so much damage, and Fezzy picks up that kill with such ease.
Yeah, you don't want to fight an Orianna that's so far ahead. Even as a Riven, you think you can outplay it, you can't.
Look at this. Here comes some mono melting Lady Saphira. No chance in hell. Some mono is dominating.
Absolutely putting work in on this Lucian. Interesting build. He's got them double jewels. He's got double ruby crystal. I'm actually not quite sure what he's building with that, but it may not even matter. The game may end before he finishes it.
Yeah. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be Black Cleaver, yeah.
Yeah, Black Cleaver most likely.
But
he may not even get a chance to finish it. This game is gonna be over so soon.
And look at that one combo. Leilomo under half health from it. Oh, Samano going on to Moonshadow. Moonshadow takes a lot of damage and goes down. The godlike Samano looking to avenge his 3-0. He will not be Samano 4 after this game. Shockwave!
1-3. Oh!
Ooh, what a brutal shockwave. JLC goes into this fight, trying to get as much as possible. The cast actually pushes Verdant Tyros closer to the kills, and now K-Quick is a little bit too deep. Gonna have to run through that wall to escape. Now the base is cracked, and so are the hopes of Diamond Eclipse in progressing in this tournament.
Oh, that Orianna damage was disgusting. I don't know if they should keep going for this though. This is risky.
Ooh, Allspark getting caught out. Flashes away in time. Will they be able to return the kill? Moonshadow running extremely low, and Fez takes advantage of it. Here comes the curtain call. Bullet lands on the 8-Bit Buck. Bullet lands on Samano. JLC looking to run interference. Manages to stop the current call, but he's running extremely low. Deadly Flourish does not land. JLC runs low, but so does Leilomo as he drops to Samano. Samano getting out. And it doesn't look too good for Fezzy, but he gets a shockwave that turns this all around. Samano is on the attack, going after Lady Saphira. Will Lady Saphira be able to run away? Sets his sights on the K-Quick, and K-Quick will go down. Will JLC go down with him? Doesn't look likely as the ball barely saves him. And this is Verdant Tyros' game.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't really have that many waves in position, and
Ooh.
Moonshadow. He's trying, but
very ambitious with that one.
Yeah, this game is definitely over now. Super Minions streaming in.
They might choose to back off. And choosing to take the back.
Inhibitor. Yeah, go for that Infernal Drake.
Yeah, very calculated play coming out of Verdant Tyros.
I wanted to see them keep fighting. I wasn't satisfied yet.
And there's the Black Clover.
That was about a 1 minute fight that blue side completely dominated the entire time. Complete control for them. And the cheese pick of the Gragas mid definitely failing.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
Just Renekton building a little bit more tanky this game. Good on him. You know, he's doing what he needs to do rather than building pure damage, because this red side comp, excuse me, still is very high damage. You still have a Jhin, you still have a Ribbon.
Here comes Shockwave onto Moonshadow. Is it gonna be enough? Yes, it will be, because there is backup coming out from Verdant Tyros, but it was actually just Allspark on support. Meanwhile, Leilomo drops behind the tower. Calling goes out, picks up legendary Samano. Now Toddy way too far forward. Legendary Fezzy Fez.
And they can most likely end the game now. That's 3 members down for 30 seconds. Run it down mid lane, end the game. Unless they want to BM and get the 3rd inhibitor, they can do that too.
Quick is looking for something.
Oh my.
Gets nothing. Trying to be a little bit sneaky there. Maybe pick up a kill on Allspark.
They want Lady Saphira.
Oh no.
8-bit just does not care about turret damage.
And what a display of raw power coming out of Verdant Tyros.
And this was the other way around. Instead of Diamond absolutely dominating, this time it's the other team, and just crazy. The Lucian absolutely popped off, as well as the Orianna.
Yeah, and it was a great display to come out of Verdant Tyros. They played like a well-organized team. They were making map movements. They did a lot overall. It wasn't just individual play, it was macro play, and it looked great. And we're going to get to the damage charts right now, and we see...
I'm going to hazard a guess that Orianna is at the top of the charts.
And you are wrong. Samano takes that with his Lucian, playing out of his mind that game. Played like an ADC with something to prove, and damn right he has something to prove after that display in finals. Really showed up this game.
Definitely was pumping, and absolute domination. Again, it was absolutely crazy. From the early game, they were just making map movements. We saw the Orianna coming out of lane very often. We saw JLC moving around the map way more than Lomo, and they were able to use that jungle pressure to much greater effect.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things was the inefficiency that we saw out of Leilomo, though. That Xin Zhao pick didn't do anything but die.
Yeah, and he went a weird build. We saw the Warrior instead of the Blood Razor, because Xin Zhao, he loves attack speed, but he was the lowest level in the game besides his support.
Yeah, and that's really, it tells the tale of what happened this game. And if I had to give player of the game to this one, it would have to go to Samano. He would do the 1v1s, he would go in aggressively, he would make plays for his team, and it showed that he is one of the most dominant ADCs in this tournament.
Oh, definitely. He made it work. He was constantly moving around, he was aggressive, he was just taking the fights where he wanted to, and he was just winning them every single time.
And so with this victory, Verdant Tyros goes into round 3, and that's when we start getting into the best of 3s. We will have that coming up very soon, but for now we'll be taking a quick break from Decerux and HarkenScythe. We'll be seeing you in a couple of minutes.